Most people spend their lives dreaming of an escape. They imagine a place where the emails stop, the board meetings vanish, and the only sound is the rhythmic pulse of the ocean against white sand. They see a private island as the ultimate trophy, the final achievement unlocked in the game of capitalism. But you've already won that game, and you know the truth. Every trophy comes with a maintenance bill. Welcome to Billionaire Problems, where we teach you how to lose 9 figures with dignity. Today, we are moving beyond the manageable headaches of owning an airport or operating a bank. We are looking at the private island. It is the only asset class that combines the logistical misery of an offshore oil rig with the complete lack of revenue of a cemetery. An island is not real estate. It is a stationary shipwreck that you are required by law and by ego to keep afloat. It is a sovereign kingdom where you are the king, the janitor, and the primary victim of the local ecology. By the time we finish this deep dive, you will understand why paradise is actually just a very expensive word for supply chain failure. The first mistake is thinking that you own the island. In the world of elite assets, ownership is a relative term. In many of the world's most desirable archipelagos, the Maldives, parts of the Seychelles, the South Pacific, you are not buying land. You are buying a long-term lease. You are essentially a high-end tenant of a sovereign nation. You are betting a significant portion of your net worth that the local government will remain stable for the next 99 years. You are betting that they won't decide, 30 years from now, that your private lagoon is actually a protected national heritage site or a convenient location for a naval base. This is the sovereign risk. Even in freehold jurisdictions like the Bahamas or the Exumas, you are still married to the local bureaucracy. You will pay alien landholding licenses that cost more than most people's primary residences. You will hire local facilitators whose only job is to ensure your paperwork doesn't spend eternity at the bottom of a pile in a humid government office. You've already spent $5 million on lawyers, marine surveyors, and environmental impact consultants, and you haven't even stepped foot on your beach yet. This is the cover charge for the privilege of losing the rest of your money. On the mainland, power is a background utility. On an island, power is a daily crisis. You have 2 choices for your sovereign grid. You can go green or you can go loud. If you choose the green dream, you'll install a solar array the size of a football field. But the salt air is a relentless enemy. It corrodes the panels, degrades the wiring, and shorts out the inverters. You'll need a battery room that requires its own specialized 24-hour climate control system, because if those lithium batteries overheat in the tropical sun, your $100 million investment becomes a very bright, very hot firework. Most owners eventually surrender and go loud. This means massive diesel generators. Now, you aren't just an island owner. You are a fuel logistics manager. You must ship in thousands of gallons of diesel every month via a specialized barge. If a storm delays that barge by 3 days, your air conditioning dies. Within hours, the humidity begins to rot your $20 million art collection and warp your imported Italian cabinetry. You are paying $50,000 a month just to keep your house from dissolving. Next, there is the water problem. Unless you have a natural spring, and trust us, you don't. You are entirely dependent on a desalination plant. This is a temperamental, high-pressure machine that sucks in the ocean and tries to force it through membranes fine enough to strip out the salt. Desalination plants are the drama queens of the engineering world. They hate seaweed. They hate silt. They hate the very ocean they are designed to process. If a pump fails, you aren't just calling a plumber. You are calling a specialized engineer who lives 300 miles away and charges a remote service fee that would cover a month at the pier. You aren't just paying for water, you're paying for the survival of your plumbing. Without that machine, your island is just a very beautiful place to die of thirst. The part the brochures never show you is the waste. On an island, nothing truly goes away. Every plastic bottle, every scrap of leftover Wagyu, and every gram of human waste must be dealt with by you. You are your own EPA. You have to build a self-contained, modular sewage treatment plant. If it fails, you aren't just looking at a repair bill. You are looking at an environmental disaster that could lead to the revocation of your lease. And the physical trash? It doesn't disappear. It sits in a staging area until your monthly barge arrives to haul it back to the mainland. You are the mayor of a tiny, high-stakes village, and your primary responsibility is trash management. In Manhattan, a loaf of bread is $5. On your island, that same loaf is $50 once you factor in the logistical multiplier. This is what we call the remote tax. Everything you own must arrive by sea or air. This mirrors the economics of owning an offshore oil rig. Need a replacement part for your broken refrigerator? It's a 10-cent screw that requires a $500 helicopter charter to deliver. Want a case of vintage Bordeaux for your guests? You have to pray the customs agent at the mainland port is having a good day, or your wine will sit on a 100-degree dock for 3 weeks until it's vinegar. Then there is the corrosion constant. The salt air is an acid. It eats the weatherproof speakers. It pits the stainless steel on your grill. It shorts out the outdoor Wi-Fi extenders. You are in a permanent war of attrition against the atmosphere, and unlike you, the atmosphere has an infinite budget. You bought the island to escape the rules of men, only to find that nature is protected by even stricter rules. You want to build a dock so you can actually access your property? The local government will demand 3 years of environmental impact studies. You will spend 6 figures on marine biologists to prove that your dock won't disturb the mating habits of a specific microscopic species of indigenous sea snail. You'll be told you have to build your helipad 6 inches to the left because of a rare bird's nesting cycle. It is the ultimate irony. You've paid 9 figures for sovereignty, only to be told what to do by a bureaucrat who hasn't seen the sun in 3 years. You cannot run an island alone. To live with the dignity we promise on this channel, you need a staff of at least 15 to 20 people. You need a property manager, a chef, housekeepers, mechanics, and a security detail to keep the paparazzi, or the modern-day pirates, at bay. But where do they live? You have to build a second staff village on the far side of the island. You are responsible for their housing, their food, their internet, and their medical care. If your head mechanic gets homesick or your chef has a toothache, your island suddenly becomes a very expensive crisis. You are managing the emotional stability of 20 people who are trapped in paradise with you. If there is drama in the staff village, it becomes your drama. You aren't just an owner. You are the reluctant mayor of a tiny, high-stress society. When you own an island, you are advertising your wealth to the horizon. This requires a private military company mindset. You need sensors, cameras, and a security team that knows how to handle uninvited guests who think your private beach is a public park. The cost of maintaining privacy in an age of drones and high-resolution satellite imagery is a line item that never stops growing. Finally, we must discuss the exit. In the world of high-end assets, liquidity is king, but a private island is a highly illiquid rock. When you finally realize that you've spent $200 million and haven't had a single day of actual peace in 5 years, you'll try to sell. But the buyer pool for a slightly corroded, logistically impossible money pit is incredibly small. You'll find that losing 9 figures with dignity means selling for 40 cents on the dollar just to make the maintenance bills stop. You aren't selling a paradise, you're selling a burden to the next person who has the same fever dream you had. So why do we do it? Why spend a fortune on a logistical black hole? Because at your level, you've realized that you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a place where no one can find you. A private island is the ultimate millionaire problem because it is a physical manifestation of your success and your isolation. It is a beautiful, sovereign, completely irrational waste of money. And that, truly, is the only way to lose 9 figures with absolute dignity.